NMH at 1 highlights the news making waves ranging from current affairs, community stories, sports and economic news. Here are the headlines. Bank of Namibia poorly equipped to control banks, says Governor. ICT Minister introduces initiatives to eliminate data roaming. And SWAPO Vice President addresses Youth League Central Committee meeting. I'm Aina Kweo. You can follow all our programs on our website, which is called oneup2.com, or DSTV 285 or GoTV 25 in Namibia. SWAPO Vice President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah addresses the party's Youth League Central Committee meeting at the Sem Nujoma Multipurpose Center in Ongwediva this morning. SWAPO Party Youth League Secretary Ephraim Nekongo told Vice President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah and SWAPO Secretary General Sophia Shaningwa this morning that once Nandi-Ndaitwah takes power, the young people want to be appointed into ministerial positions because they are capable. You can watch us after the break as we return with our visual news after the break.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouthwatering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
ICT Minister Pea Mushelenga and his counterpart from Botswana, Tulagano Sekgoko, declared yesterday that initiatives to eliminate data roaming are well underway and in progress. They stated in a joint statement that communications had been issued to operators in Namibia and Botswana advising them of the minister's decision to cut roaming prices between the two nations. The Botswana delegation is in Namibia as part of finalizing a new regime of harmonizing data roaming between the two countries.
The Minister of Information and Communication Technology of the Republic of Namibia first met in Gaborone, Botswana on the 8th of August 2023 to strengthen existing bilateral relations and explore new areas of cooperation between the two countries. At that meeting, the two ministers agreed to accelerate the harmonization of roaming charges across the SADC region to facilitate the implementation of the single digital market in line with the cost-based roaming project where the decision of SADC ministers responsible for information and communications in June 2023. Cognizant of the importance of mobile telecommunication services in facilitating regional integration and seamless trade, the two ministers resolved that the Communications Regulatory Authority of Namibia, CRAN, and Botswana Communications Regulatory Authority, BOCRA, in consultation with mobile networks operators, should agree on a collaborative framework to reduce roaming charge between Namibia and Botswana. The two ministers committed to implementing the SADC ministers' decision by the end of March 2024. Progress made. CRAD and BOCRA have established a joint technical committee on the reduction of roaming charges between Namibia and Botswana. Communications have been sent to operators in Namibia and Botswana, informing them of the decisions by ministers to lower roaming charges between the two countries. The committee has agreed to adopt a benchmark approach similar to the one used by the East African region, where prevailing roaming rates were used to determine what would constitute reasonable rates. The committee has started the data collection exercise. The operators up to the end of November 2023 to submit the required data. I now invite Honorable Sikoko to come and present to you the way forward.
After the break, we return with a newspaper review, starting with the Namibian Sun.
Hello and welcome to today's Sports Rep Show.
I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraika. In replay, Namibia, who had won the toss for the first time on this tour.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news, both on the WTA for women's and
The General Secretary of the Namibia Public Workers Union, Petrus Nevonga, yesterday announced that civil servants will receive a salary increase of 5% effective April 2024 for the 2023-2024 financial year. He said the negotiations were prompted by the inability of civil servants to sustain their quality of life on the current salaries, as well as their inability to qualify for housing loans. Negotiations took place between the government and the Namibia National Teachers Union. Deputy Minister of Higher Education Natalia Goases has called recent changes to the Namibia Student Financial Assistance Fund's budget much needed funding to equip Namibian students. She tabled the budget in Parliament recently following NASFAF receiving an additional $376 million Namibian dollars during the mid-year budget, on top of the allocated $1.6 billion Namibian dollars granted during the budget review earlier this year. According to Republican, about 800 school children at Koes do not have water to bath, flush the toilets, or drink. However, it is not only the school that suffers from that water issue, but the whole town. The residents say that the problem arose a few years ago, although the situation deteriorated so much at the beginning of September that there is currently no water or only a trickle. Moving over to our next story, disgruntled members of the Landless People's Movement have approached the Anti-Corruption Commission of Namibia to investigate claims that $1.7 million Namibian dollars was taken from the party's coffers to buy 4 vehicles for its top leadership in their personal capacity, including the wife of the party leader, Bernardes Swartboy. This despite the fact that the LPM's lower structure in the region claims that they are struggling to carry out party operations and other operational matters due to mobility challenges. The Allgemeine Zeitung also reports that for 3 months, the water supply at Koes has been interrupted minimally or completely. Water that is undrinkable for humans is in boreholes at the schools and could be used, and around 800 school children at Koes have no water for bathing, flushing the toilet, or drinking. On page 3, the AZ reports that the Anti-Corruption Commission has suggested now that the police or the leadership of the Landless People's Movement investigate allegations that the party funds were used to buy private cars for 2 lending politicians, Henry Sabab and Bernardes Swartboy, and his wife Moeti Swartboy, and 2 party administrators. We will be right back with more newspaper reviews, starting with the Namibian.
Neo Paints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neo Paints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neo Paints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
Health Minister Kalumbi Shangula has described the shortage of medical gloves at some hospitals nationwide as a crisis, reports the Namibian. This comes after some nurses told the Namibian they have been working on patients without protective gloves. In the Zambezi region, nurses and doctors at Katima Mulilo District Hospital have been operating without medical gloves for the past month, and the health minister yesterday confirmed it was a national crisis. Following yesterday's announcement of new wage and benefit increases for civil servants, the public wage bill for the 107,000 strong civil services is expected to increase by 1.7 billion Namibian dollars in the 2024-2025 financial year. A dispute between a Katima Mulilo town councillor and residents over debt collector Red Force operation has now led the angry inhabitants to seek legal assistance to get the entity removed. Chaos broke out on Wednesday afternoon in the town between hordes of frustrated residents and the town council officials, including the mayor, following continuous demands to remove Red Force from the town. Kate Manschwab, Mayor McDonald Hans said the provision of civil services is a crucial step in ensuring that the town's community thrives and their needs are met with efficiency and effectiveness. He articulated this earlier this week during a groundbreaking ceremony for the provision of civil services at the Extension 7 informal settlement situated at the outskirts of the town and opposite the B1 National Road. Andranda Mining Limited has received $25 million, about 445 million Namibian dollars from the Orion Resource partner to boost the operation at its mine in US. The company said the partnership with Orion will not only enable the expansion of tin production up to 2,000 tons per annum, but will also allow us to accelerate our wider lithium and tin development surrounding our West mine, Andranda CEO Anthony Fillion yesterday said in a statement. After the break, we return with economic news.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouthwatering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
The Bank of Namibia is not adequately empowered to regulate the market conduct of commercial banks, the central bank governor Johannes Gouwagab said. He emphasized the need for legislative measures to address this weakness while speaking at a parliamentary committee hearing into the conduct of commercial banks in Namibia. It follows concerns that banks are profiteering off the prime lending rate, which is the rate at which banks lend money to the public and businesses amid general complaints that the current rate is excessive. He stressed that commercial banks are, by their nature, for their existence, driven towards principally making profit for their owners. Let's have a look at our economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades for 22 Namibian dollars 71 cents to 1 British pound, 19 Namibian dollars 89 cents get you 1 euro, and 18 Namibian dollars 32 cents gets you 1 US dollar. On the local share, MTC has increased with 0.10%, while all the other local shares remain the same. Local index has increased with 0.02%, while overall index closed with 1.70%. All commodities have gone up, gold with 0.46%, platinum with 1.04%, copper 0.05%, and Brent crude oil 0.85%. Let's have a look at our news from Africa. A cheap and widely available antibiotic halves the risk of people exposed to drug-resistant tuberculosis from contracting the particularly deadly strain of a disease. Researchers announced on Thursday tuberculosis is the second deadliest infectious disease according to the World Health Organization, killing only slightly fewer people than COVID-19 last year. Every year, an estimated 450,000 people contract multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, which frontline drugs no longer work against. Only 2 in 5 people with MDR-TB had access to treatment last year, partly because the disease disproportionately affects people in developing countries. However, the commonly available antibiotic levofloxacin has been found to safely reduce the risk of children developing this TB by 56%, according to the new South African-based research presented at the Union World Conference on Lung Health in Paris. Moving over to our next story, the African Development Bank said on Thursday that it had filed a formal complaint with the Ethiopian government after 2 of its staff members were arrested in Addis Ababa last month. In a statement issued on Thursday, the Abidjan-based institution said they were unlawfully arrested, physically assaulted, and detained for many hours by elements of the security forces without any official explanation, describing it as a very serious diplomatic incident. The bank went on to say that it was, however, pleased that Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed acted immediately when he learned what happened. It said he ordered the immediate release and promised to order an investigation into the incident, which took place on the 31st of October. We shall return with international news shortly. Ukraine has sharply reduced its exports of farm goods to Asian and African countries so far in 2023 due to blocked seaports in the Black Sea, which has traditionally been the main export route. Agriculture Business Association UCAB said on Thursday the lion's share of Ukraine's agrarian and metallurgical and chemical exports left the country from the Black Sea ports, which were partially or completely blocked after the Russian invasion in February 2022. Ukraine, one of the world's major grain growers and exporters, has traditionally shipped its grain to Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. UCAB said on Facebook the share of agriculture exports to Africa decreased to 7% in January to October 2023 from 14% in the same period in 2021. Exports to Asia decreased to 12% from 19%, while shipment to Southeast Asia fell to 4% from 13%. We return shortly with our local sports news.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouthwatering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
The Namibia Football Association is expected to announce a new leader today, as the historic elective Congress will see 38 delegates vote for new NFA Executive Council and President. The FIFA Normalization Committee's tenure ends today after administering football for over a year, and Chairperson Basi Uirabe has high hopes that there will never be a need for another committee again. The 9th edition of the Dr. Hagegen Gob Cup is taking place tomorrow at Windhoek's Independence Stadium. The much-anticipated tournament will feature 4 matches. The main match is being played between African Stars and Chula Chula, while Hopsol League Team 1 will play with the Curtain Raiser against Hopsol League Team 2. And now let's have a look at the weekend gig guide.
Good day, NMH at 1 viewers. My name is Michael Kayunde. I'm back on your TV screens on the Weekend Gig Guide segment to give you guys a lowdown of some of the events that you can expect in and around the country this weekend. To start with, you can catch There Is Chill Sessions tonight on NTV at 7 p.m. That's the show where I get to take you in and around the country, showcasing you and counting down the trending music videos for the week. Moving along with other events you can still expect to check out this weekend, you can expect to check out, that is the Open in Arms EP release that is taking place tonight at 8 p.m. at Chicago's. That is an EP that was produced by Hosi, the comedian, and his team, that is the Open in Arms team, where he went in and around the country collecting and gathering talent, and tonight they'll be able to launch that EP. So you can be able to listen to talent that is in and around the country. Also, you can expect to check out performances at this EP by Top Cherry. So if you are in Windhoek and you don't know where to go to, Chicago's is the place for you to be at tonight. Another event you can expect this weekend is the Christmas market that is taking place tomorrow at the Goethe Institute, and the entrance is for free. So if you're a music lover and you also love Christmas as a theme, please make sure you go out.
Here are the highlights from today's broadcast. A cheap and widely available antibiotic halves the risk of people exposed to drug-resistant tuberculosis from contracting the particularly deadly strain of disease, researchers announced on Thursday. Ukraine has sharply reduced its exports of farm goods to Asia and African countries so far in 2023 due to the blocked seaports in the Black Sea. The 9th edition of the Dr. Hagegen Gob Cup is taking place tomorrow at Windhoek's Independence Stadium. The main match is between African Stars and Chula Chula. And those have been your highlights. Remember to tune in every day at 1 o'clock, every weekday rather, at 1 o'clock to spend your lunch hour with NMH at 1, catching up on the latest news in Namibia.